Okay guys, if you're going to be doing the Honda Accord oil change and you're wondering if your engine is actually leaking oil, the best way to check if there's any leaks on anywhere around the seals and the gasket area, and also where your oil filter is, if there's any leaks or any dirt anywhere accumulated. This car is losing about a quart of oil every week, so checking it, none of these areas are leaking. Anywhere that possibly was due to like a mechanical leak error, like the seals or anything, it's not leaking. It's not leaking on the seals. There's no oil on the floor. If you put newspaper on the floor and there wasn't anything on the driveway, so it's definitely burning oil and burning oil somewhere. So right now I just put in a new oil filter. This thing is empty right now because I just drained the oil. We took this off. Of course, it's just hand tight right now. We put, oops, still oil in there. I'll probably drain the rest of that stuff. But basically, most of the oil is drained out. After you drain out that oil, get an oil filter wrench and just take that oil filter off. Putting a new oil filter in, you want to make sure you put some oil in the filter first. Put it about halfway full when it's on the ground, and then roll it in. It won't flow out. So screw it back on. And what I found that's very easy and very useful for especially the Honda Accord, you either use your oil wrench that you got at a shop, like this guy, wrap a towel around it and twist it, but sometimes it basically crushes it too. You have to be really careful not to crush it. Or if you tried one of these caps, right, that oil filter caps, sometimes these don't work because the oil filter I'm using is a Denso. These will fit the original Hondas. So sometimes they don't fit. So not exactly that useful. If you're using the original Honda filters, they're great, but either way, it's still not as good as the original Honda metal ones that fit very snug. These will slip, these plastic ones. But I also found out for the Honda Accord, it's just use basically a jar opener. This is actually very useful because it doesn't crush that thing. It doesn't leave any teeth marks on the filter, but it tightens it really well just by using one of these built-in jar openers. It's extremely useful. Got this at I think at a dollar store or something, but I found I use this more than my oil filter wrench. But to each their own. I found that this is easier to put on your oil filters without leaving any teeth marks or any scratches or even crushing your oil filter. But if you use the wrench, you have to be really careful and use a rag or something to prevent crushing. But I like using the jar opener more. Anyways, well, I think we're done underneath the car. Just also take a look at any other parts that might be leaking or anything else like that. But overall, this oil filter is in. It's in tight. We've already did another round, and I'm going to drain the rest of this oil. Then we're going to fill this up with oil.